Hello, ActiveSage here on the Sage channel, and I'm going to go ahead and do a pretty quick look at the Aeroview Hangar. And this hangar used to be called the Business Hangar, but as I have redone all of the hangars for the 0.9 update, it's now called the Aeroview. And I think I adore it the most out of any of them. Probably. I hadn't seen this one up close when I went through the Selfland one, and I thought the Selfland one was pretty cool. I liked the detail and the grime and all that. But coming in here, and by the way, you'll notice when I turn and stop, it sometimes does this jump back. I think it's because the body is catching up, or it might have something to do with the motion blur. So try to not throw up with that nonsense. But it's, I love this hangar. I adore it. It reminds me of something that EarthGov might build or something like that. It's incredible. And it's beautiful. I love the fact that it has these, like, the walkways that all the hangars have. This one has these beautiful ones with the glass, the curved glass on the bottom. It runs all along to this main control room up here. And you can even look at the bottom of this control room area here, and you got the little glass panes that you can see like technology through, and then you got these little support beams that come down all the way to the very, very nice door that we have here. And looking back up, we even have these arched light things. And they're not even just a simple flat arch, they're actually cut into it slightly, and then the light actually goes straight up and down. It's beautiful. And this door, look at that framing around this door. Look at that. How beautiful is that? The fact that they actually take the time. The texture work is a bit on this, but remember my settings are on high, so it might even be better and very high. But the fact that they took the time to actually dent the metal in there, it's very nice, and it goes all the way around. From this distance right here, it is absolutely incredible. I love this. And then this door itself is just a work of art. It's incredible. You got this little thing exhibited in there. I think there's actually a piece of glass over it. As you can see, a slight reflection on it. Hopefully it's showing up. Yeah, there's a slight reflection, so it's like a piece of glass blocking it, and then you can see the textures changed on the inside. It looks like it's just a stretched texture, but let's be honest, maybe that's all you actually need for something this small where you're not really going to get close to it usually. The door itself is just beautiful. I love the idea that maybe these move somehow and before it opens, and even if they don't, it's still just a beautiful, beautiful door. I adore it. And let me go over to these things. This is pretty awesome. It's got this little warning here that, as you can see, it's slightly glitched behind the screen. It doesn't show up. If we move to the side, you can see it says warning electrical panel, and it's got a piece of glass in front of it too. And they actually got a nice little indented seam there where the glass sort of slides in. And it's like, oh, when you need to work on this, does the glass slide up maybe, and then you can work on it? And maybe it's only some people with a certain access pass, so the remote control, you lift the thing up and then it opens. It's very cool. There's another one over there. I just love this. I love the paneling. It's just beautiful. And look at the speck there in the metal on this wall. As the light hits it, you can see the different little scratches and stuff show up. It's just gorgeous. I love it. I love it so much. It's beautiful. And then when the light hits the actual little letters there, you can see they light up a bit. I almost expect that to be a bit smoother, but I guess it's a bit worn, so it makes sense. It's incredible. I love this so much. That looks like a glitch right there, though. The fact that we can see white through there. Yeah, that's a glitch right there. That door should probably go back a little bit farther, or maybe the wall needs to come forward a bit so we wouldn't see that. But overall, it's incredible. I love this door. And I just realized I probably spent 2 minutes talking about a door, but look at it. It's so beautiful. And this isn't just a normal map. This is actually carved into the wall. Even the little indentation here is actually carved into the wall. It's so beautiful. The textures don't really hold up when I get this close, but from right there, they're pretty amazing. Oh, it's beautiful. Even this little curve here. I love this curve. Look at that curve. You can count the polys on it, but just the idea of having a curve right there is so smooth from this distance. A slight edge to it. Maybe that's they could work on, but still, it's great. I love that. And then look at those like triangular bits there where the beams go in. God, I love that. I just love this hangar. The detail in it, this hangar, compared to the last one, where the last one just... I know the fact that the LOD in the last one was so noticeable, it just threw me off. When I say the last one, I'm talking about the Selfland one. The LOD in that just popped so much, and it was a nice hangar, but it just... The scale also felt very off in that hangar, because it felt humongous, but you looked at it, but only when you got like right up to something sort of, and only when it had a ship in it. If there wasn't a ship in it from like a corner, that hangar felt like it was supposed to be just a single small ship hangar. But then, of course, you know, once you're actually in, you're like, oh, it's actually huge. This ship actually feels like it has scale. The doors to get out here are actually smaller from the looks of it by maybe 2 or 3 times. but it still actually feels like this has more scale in it because the amount of detail just seems higher because all the bits that are bumping out. And even though the last hangar had those beautiful like support beams on the walls and stuff, this one just, I don't know, somehow it calls to me more. I think it's all the detail on the ceiling too. Just the fact that you got the lights up there and then you got these little metal bits coming out and then you see the nice little glow from behind them. Oh god, I adore this hangar. This reminds me so much of something that EarthGov would have from the Dead Space universe, and I've always adored their beautiful, clean art style. Oh, God. Oh, by the way, this thing here that I've sort of wandered over to... Oh, and by the way, I should also point this out. Over here, they have the fish tank, and then over there they actually have your, you know, little, whatever you call it, storage locker thing, and then your character change in the towel and your display case. That's all over there. I'm pretty damn sure all of the stuff in all the hangars is going to end up in its own little separate room eventually, or separate rooms. Oh, and by the way, here's this thing. I didn't show this in the last hangar, in the Selfland hangar, but this is the same in all of them, and it's still this terrible, terrible user interface, which I'm pretty sure will change in the near future. Anyway, let's move on from this. Let me go ahead and look at these panels a bit. I'm actually going to run over to this one over here. Now, at first glance, this hangar might seem a bit darker, but it's actually well enough lit, I think, for the most part. It's pretty great. And you can see here this panel. I mean, the detail in this hangar I absolutely adore. I mean, look at these little cords in there. It's all hidden behind glass. And the detail, you got a little writing there that I think I can actually read largely. Caution. Yeah. Protective gear must be worn at all times, I guess, if you break that piece of glass. And look at this down here under this thing. The fact that it has this nice little, like the lip to it. So it comes over the edge as it drops down, and then it bumps out that little bit there. There's actually some detail under that where it looks like it bumps back in as well. And then this thing here, the actual platform, it's got like two different color tones, the orange on the top and the gray on the bottom. I suspect that's actually a carve in between them. I think it is. So you can see this whole thing theoretically moving down and being pulled down on these huge pistons and going flush with the rest of the ground. And you see also, even in the middle there, that looks like it could almost move up and down. A little small glitch there where it looks like we might be looking into the void right there in between the main body and then this little ramped bit there. But still, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love the fact that we got these sort of hingy things here, which makes no sense. How's this thing going to need like a pivot right there? But maybe it's just to hold this piston, which only goes up and down. I don't know. There's not really any reason for it, but it looks beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I adore it. And, oh, God. The panel work here is so nice, too. Oh, that's a bit weird. What is the point of these? I guess they're supposed to be like little locking mechanisms or something. They're a bit odd. They seem decidedly low poly, but I assume that might be purposeful. And let's be honest, they don't really need to be higher poly when they're usually that big on your screen and you're just running past them. Oh my God, look at this. This needs work. Or does it? Maybe it doesn't. I'm having trouble comprehending what I'm looking at here. It looks like it's flat surface. And see, the reason I originally said it needed work was because there's some weirdness here where it looks like it's supposed to be flush, or maybe it's supposed to be bumped down, and you see all these jaggedy edges. It doesn't look quite right. Maybe that's something that would look better if I had it very high, but I sort of doubt it considering the detail on other things like these where it looks so smooth at the corners and stuff. Anyway, let's carry on. One last thing before I actually carry on, though, is looking under here again. You can see it's the attention to detail, even in such hidden spaces as this. They actually have these random pipes and machines and stuff. It's very, very nice. You can see how it all moves. So if this whole platform did drop down, this would actually somehow rotate flush. Yeah, this would rotate flush ideally with this ground here as well. And the fact that each of these stairs even have one of those little rotation joint things I was looking at earlier in them, they would go flush as well. And actually, now that I think about it, that's what this is then. That's what this is. This is like another stairwell almost. So maybe, ideally in the far future, more of these panels could actually lift up. And now that I think about it, yeah, look. So that's why it's, oh my God, it actually makes sense. Protective gear must be worn at all times when operating this platform probably is what they're trying to say. Because it looks like all around the edges of this thing, all of these could lift up theoretically then. Oh my God, it is very, very cool. I'm sure they're not actually modeled in, but maybe in the far-flung future of this game, they will actually be usable and they can all lift up and be flush with this thing. God, look at the detail. This is funny. I think this is actually the same exact model as the thing that had the warning label. No, it's not. Okay, the lights are actually indented into it, I think. whereas this is just flush. But you see the similarity there with it. It's pretty cool, though. I like that. That's very nice. And in fact, it actually makes sense that they would be similar in this area, because it could be a sort of standard, like a wall socket. You put it in, but then you actually change out the actual plugs to maybe, you know, Ethernet cables or something like that. It's pretty awesome. Up here, by the way, you can see more nice little details. Some jaggediness here that I'm not sure if it's all intentional. I guess it is. It sort of looks like a angry, squinty face from here. Yeah, there's some jaggediness that I don't think it's supposed to be there. I think some sort of tessellation that must be going on with my side, hopefully. A lot of really, really nice stuff, though. I love this. This is all pretty much plain and the same, but it's still pretty great seeing the floor like that and everything. Let's go ahead and head all the way over to this far wall here now. Oh, by the way, look under that platform. You can see all the way under it without seeing anything. That's actually another LED glitch similar to the floor panels, because if I get closer, you can see it all fades in. So there's actually stuff under all these. Yeah, they're having some LOD issues in this hangar as well, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure they'll get to it and fix it all up. I'd love to be able to actually crawl under there, because it almost looks like you could remove that panel and get inside it. One day. Maybe years down the line. One day. Anyway, here we are up at the front of the hangar where we got the big doors over there. But first, let's look at this random machine. When I first loaded this hangar up, standing all the way at the place where I first started this video, I saw these big orange things, and I thought they were huge vertical windows into some sort of like pavilion area, or maybe, I don't know, a dining hall or something silly that you would have an expensive hangar of some sort. But nope, they're random, squiggly, spinny things that I don't understand, and frankly, I'm not sure I need to, because they look pretty awesome. And the fact that they even have the animation of the very bottom area here, just gently jittering as if it's a very busy machine, and the top one as well, it's pretty awesome. It almost feels like it's going to blow up with that smoke, but overall, it's very, very cool. And once again, attention to the detail in this is fantastic. I don't think they've actually, well, I can't tell if they've modeled in all those little lines on these things, but no matter what, it is amazing. They definitely have along the bottom here actually modeled all those in. It's just wonderful. I love it. Caution, hydraulic system. So apparently this is probably the hydraulic system to run the doors then, I suspect. Which sort of makes sense. They're pretty big doors, and if you're running off hydraulics, you probably need a lot. And it looks like there's smoke coming out at the very top there. There's a lot of nice vents up there, more little lights and stuff. It's very, very, very beautiful. Little windows on the top of these panels too, but I think that's just more machinery up there. Let's go ahead and actually look at the doors now. By the way, I just have to point out the amount of detail around the sides here. It's not as high as the doors themselves, I don't think, but, well, maybe it is. There's still a lot of detail just on an area that's otherwise quite dark, actually. Let's go ahead and move along here. Some nice, very nice little thingies here. I have no idea what they are. I suspect they might be some sort of manual release or something. I don't know. They're very interesting. It almost looks like you push your thumb in there, pull out that little socket bit, and then turn it, and maybe that big orange bit around it is like a canister, and you could pull it out. I don't know. Maybe they're replacements for those orange things that are dipping up and down. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Anyway, let me actually move on to the door here, which, like that first door I was infatuated with, this one also has these nice little things going up the sides, making some very, very nice patterns. The door itself even, oh wow, look at that detailing there. Oh god, it's beautiful. I adore this hangar. The door itself is very similar to that first door in the overall feel of it, of course, because it's the same hangar, but, and also in the fact that it just appears, well, they could work on that, appears to open straight from the middle, so just two basic big door bits, but they got a lot of detail to them. At least that's what I'm suspecting. It's a little hard to tell here. It might actually open in a different way looking at it now. As you can see there up the main bulk of the door, there's that nice seam in the middle, but then you get to here, and the only indication that there's any sort of seam here is just the fact that the texture is mirrored left to right. So it's probable that, or at least possible, that this bottom part of the door doesn't actually open left to right, but actually the bottom part of the door would go down, as well as the top, very top part of the door there would go up into the ceiling. And then this big white section here would move off to the right, and that big section there would move off to the left. If that's the case, that is incredible. I'm not sure because there is a bit of a seam here, but as I said, it doesn't really, it goes away pretty much once you get this close. You can just see the very, very tiny seam of the texture mirroring itself. It's very interesting. I wonder how this will work when it finally does open. That's going to be quite some time, I suspect, but can't wait for that day. I can tell you, though, that I think these things here probably pull out of the door, and then this whole machine here dips down into this little gap here, which Fortunately, it looks like it doesn't have enough room to actually go all the way down. It probably will just go through the materials in the ground. But then look at this even. I bet you money that this orange railing here even drops down into the ground as well, so it becomes completely flush. Imagine that movement of that thing pulling back and then the whole thing going down and then the railing going down. It'll be beautiful. And then maybe that thing that it was in even spins, and then the whole thing, this whole bottom part drops down, the top part with those who maybe they just pull back out of that little circle bit there, and then that spins and drops into the wall. Ay vey. There could be some really, really cool stuff. I cannot wait to see these doors open. I love the detail on this. What's this? What is this? Oh, can I click this? Oh, I can't. Oh, that would be incredible. Look at that, though. It is a ladder that heads up there for, like, maintenance. Was there one on the other side? There was. Oh, that is very cool. That is very, very nice attention to detail. The idea that I could click on that and climb up there, and maybe that would be part of the manually opening these doors. Maybe they have a mission someday where you have to manually open doors, where you have to pull those things out and that releases the hydraulic pressure from those or something. Then you have to climb up there and manually activate it, or maybe that causes a pressure buildup. I don't know. I'm babbling. It's just too cool. Oh, God, look at the detail on that little machine there, too. Ah, God. It's such a beautiful, beautiful hangar. I do wish my FOV was a bit higher, but God, it's beautiful. Woo! Okay, let's keep moving. That's it for the floor, pretty much. You've seen the platforms. There's 3 of them. And you've seen the walls as I sort of babbled and walked past them. They're pretty nice, very similar to the doors. They got random windows in there, which I can't actually see through. I'd hope that maybe with the room system going in, we'd actually be able to go through like that door over there, up a flight of stairs, and the rooms that we actually choose to put in, or they put in, will actually be behind these windows so we can look out. But let's keep on moving and get ourselves to an elevator. The first elevator we come into, right? Ooh, nice boxes, more looking through hydraulic system stuff, so that's hydraulics probably for that. But the first elevator, I keep getting distracted. I feel like I can't move on until I've seen all this. Like this. This looks like a charging station for like a car or something. And this looks like a parking spot. This looks like 3 parking spots, frankly. It says parking! Jesus Christ. But yeah, parking zones. So I suspect that these doors wouldn't lead into simple little interior hallways. Those doors would probably actually lead yourself into sort of the roadways of the city or something. That is very, very cool. City or space station, or wherever you have this thing built. Is this, unlike the previous hangar, could probably be built farther out away from the center hubs of the safe and kind galaxy. Get what I'm trying to say? Get away from the safer parts of the galaxy. The scuzzier the hangar usually has to be, but this one I think could be a good middle ground. Anyway, let's go into this elevator, and unfortunately, like other elevators, there's a button there, but it's all automated. Now, what is cool is that's animated. Look at that thing animating and showing, hey, you're going up. You're currently going up. And you might say, okay, it's just a little looping animation. Well, look at that. We got to the top, and it stops. Now I'm going to get out of this elevator and go back in. So I'm out, and you see that animation will once again start going, but I'm going to turn around and look this way so we can go down once more, and you can see just how cool this is. Look at the detail on the walls and stuff, and the nice shape of that window. This is a beautiful, beautiful elevator. And you see how jaggedy and screwed up everything is up there? That's a LOD issue as well. It looks like most of their LODs are actually being done from some sort of automated tessellation thing. So as you get farther away, it tries to remove vertices to cut down on the amount of polygons you're going to have. But it sometimes, it doesn't keep the silhouette properly. From a really good distance, that would look normal still. Let's go ahead, and you see there it's indicating the elevators at the bottom. Unfortunately, I can't just press it to go back up, and I have to actually go ahead and run back in and out. By the way, just look at the detail on that. The big bulbous area there, it reminds me of something from Cloud City almost, from Star Wars. And even the lighting there actually does that sort of yellowish gold. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Look at these lights even. Just such a nice thing, such a nice attention to detail. Okay, this time I'm actually just going to stand here and let you guys look out the window as we go up. And it is a beautiful thing. You also notice that the lighting here, this actual elevator gives off light as it goes up, so it's lighting up the areas as it moves. And then you can see there that the whole cylinder around us drops down to bring us out onto the second floor, which is just beautiful. It's just a beautiful view, those little piston things. You can see that one there functioning. You can see the other ones there have pretty much vanished because of the LOD. It's part of the reason why I originally thought they were nice windows into big rooms, but Nope, no such luck. And by the way, did you see that? The screen just jitter there? Their first person stuff is a bit finicky. Oh, Jesus Christ, and the Z fighting on that M50 is insane. And on that other one. There's some seriousness going on. And I somehow managed to miss those beautiful run lights that are going down the middle of that area there. Nice blink right there. Very, very cool. And let's go ahead and keep moving on up here. Remember when I was down on the ground, I did indeed point out the curved glass that was down below. So you can see from up here, we have another layer of glass, which is just flat. But again, it's very cool, the fact that you can look down and you can see the curved bit of metal there that you know that piece of glass is lined up with. And you see some pipes out the side. You see some terrible, terrible Z fighting again, where there's two textures basically fighting for the same space. I'm sure they'll fix that eventually. And then you can see these random things here, which I have no idea what they're supposed to be, but they look cool and they add a lot of detail, and they look sort of squarish, bulky. I don't know if that's intended. Bit strange. Let's keep moving. They almost look like they could be explosives or something if you want to take out your walkways for some stupid reason. Let's go around this. You can see some weird lag there when I turn too quickly. Also, you can see along here, there's some nice details in the walls. Nice panels that are actually carved into it, which means they use one big texture that just tiles over everything, and they use the actual modeling to give it more detail, which is my favorite way to do things, because it means less heavy texture work usually and more just modeling, which is my favorite part usually. When I get to UVing and modeling, I get a bit bored, and I've now been mesmerized by this beautiful thing here, which is just pulsing endlessly. It's a bit strange that there's actually not anything there when the light's not on, but you could imagine it's some sort of futuristic polymer that actually has the LEDs or whatever gives off the light built into it. So let's just assume that's what it is. And that whole thing there looks like it'd almost pop off that wall, which actually makes sense if this is a modular hangar where these walls can keep expanding outwards. It sort of makes sense that maybe these walls do all just pop apart, like a gigantic Lego set. Then again, why would you have them right here? I guess that makes sense because this is the edge of where it would have been a wall otherwise. It would have been a wall like that. So it makes sense that this would be where they would attach a new section. Pretty cool. Or I guess story-wise, it wouldn't actually be adding a new section. I say story-wise, I guess logically, it wouldn't be adding a new section. It would just be opening up an already existing hangar adjacent to yours if you want to go through the story-way. By the way, this is another elevator. Again, serious lack of buttons, all automated. It doesn't actually... Oh, you can see the lighting as it came up there. Very, very beautiful. Hey, it's at the top. And very, very cool the way that thing drops down, even if it cuts through the actual model a tiny bit there. I'm going to run through it really quickly, and hopefully I can trick it to go back down without me in it. Oh, I did! And I jumped off the side. Okay, well, we can see it coming down from the inside now. You can see it's got some nice little running lights even on the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful detail. Yeah, very, very beautiful. I love this thing. Let's actually look at the other side of it really quickly. Nope, not much there to see. It is pretty cool that they have this singular piece right here bumping out. It's a sort of nice thing to counter it. Oh, they have another one here. I don't know how I feel about that, actually. It was kind of cool, the idea that they'd have that piece bumping out there on the back to sort of counter just this one lip here. I guess they have a... The lip doesn't really come out, so I thought it would be countering this lip. Unfortunately, they do have another thing bumping out there. I don't know. It's still interesting. Let's go back up. Come on, elevator. Take me up. Oh, there's some more parking spots there I just noticed. Oh, and there are windows over on here. Over on the side this time. Again, with the low FOV, whenever I get close to stuff, I get a bit uneasy. Anyway, let's keep moving, and notice the fact that this is too wide. Again, with what I was saying about the fact that it would be sort of another hangar being opened up, or something of that sort. So you can see that this is where each modular section of the hangar, each new doorway and a big docking area sort of joins together right here. It's very, very cool, actually, though, because it gives you this huge double-wide walkway. I love it. Now, here comes one of my absolutely favorite parts of this hangar, the control room area. And I know I've been going on and on about how much I love this little thing and that little thing, but this room, in and of itself, is a masterpiece. It's just amazing. And by the way, check out that cool circular thing there. Also, looks like it could open up and a little something could come out. I don't know. Anyway, shall we go inside? All right, before I oversell this room anymore, let's actually start going. And right away, I just like to point out how nice it is, though, that it's got the curved glass coming outwards, or at least slanted glass coming out. It's very, very nice. And then look at this door. The fact that this door has this beautiful little glass on the left there, it's awesome. And then you got, of course, advertising for the hangar itself. But look above this. It's really hard to see in the dark, but look at all the beautiful detail this runs along the top there. It's wonderful. It's just so wonderful. All of it. It's great. Anyway, let's go up to the door and watch how it opens. Notice that? Here's a little glitch too. Watch the glass. You see the door sort of clips through the glass. I'm sure they'll fix it in time. But I love the fact that it's a two-stage door where the glass piece and everything moves, and then the rest of the door moves into that. It's very, very cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and move. And I want you to look at overall lighting in the room. It looks pretty dark, right? Look at this. Look at this.
Please check with the landing attendant for fuel and repair specials.
Look how beautiful that is. I just love it. I adore it. It all comes to life. Even up there, watch. If I walk back out, you'll see all the lights shut off again. You'll notice one thing, the chair there actually just disappears, but you can see the thing sliding up the wall and that thing folding back down. There's so much stuff that happens in this when you go in there. And then so I'm going to look up a bit, and you'll see that the lights gently come on, even up there in the top. I just love all this. The fact that these screens come down from the ceiling, it's just incredible. I love it. Let's see what happens though if I get them going away. The chair, of course, vanishes, the lights go off. Now what happens if we run back in? Oh wow, check that out. They really quickly try to get to the end of their animation and then go again. So you can sort of trick it. That chair too, by the way, if we run out and run back in, that chair, it's on a swivel and comes in and out closer and farther from the desk. It's pretty cool. Overall though, I adore this room. It's beautiful. And I love the fact that it's got little animated things on this. It's all nonsense right now, but in the future, hopefully it'll actually be something more serious. You'll actually be able to interact with all of this. And maybe you'll have your NPC crew working on this, and I'm sure this chair won't randomly vanish. It's a very, very beautiful area. The desk here is, I just like to say slightly plain, but it's alright. It's got the huge mouse pad. I'm sure it would be holographic interact slightly. You got your big pin there, I'm assuming is like almost like a airborne Wacom tablet. Got this little cool keypad indented into it, and then look at the corners here. They got a nice little bolt there, and it all looks like it's actually modeled in largely. Can't actually tell if the bolt is, but it's still, yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it definitely is. It's just incredible. God, it's just beautiful. Even the fact that they got this little cutout right there. It's such a simple desk, but it's very, very nice, and I love the fact that it has this sort of straight line, and then it indents in, and then straight line again, and then mirrored, of course. And even the ground in this room is beautiful. The fact that we got this light running along the whole room, just from wall to wall, bouncing almost. Oh, God, and all the little stuff in there is great. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful little bit of detail. And then, of course, we come to this beautiful observation area here, which we looked up at earlier, I believe. And you can look out and see this just fantastic hangar. I mean, it's just wonderful, this place. I love this hangar. It's so great. But clearly the LODs again with those, what is it? Pneumatics? Whatever they are. Hydraulic stuff all the way over there. The LODs, they don't even exist. You just see the smoke, so they need to work on that. But there is a lot of good stuff here. It's just beautiful. I mean, even this thing is incredible. The slanted design, the fact that it's a single slant from down there all the way to the top pretty much. But it's got the nice little cut in for your desk and your feet and whatnot. And they got the cut in here. They even got foot pedals here, like you might be operating some sort of mini ship or something. It's, yeah, there's so much stuff. And even these things, I have no idea what the purposes of them. These things that have popped out the sides. I do know if we were to go out this door and let everything reset all the way back to its normal set, so we can see through the window there that one screen dropping down and away. If we now run back in, you'll see these things on the sides, you can see them pop out really quick. So I don't know what their purpose is, but they are cool. I wonder if there's maybe cameras on the other side that I can't see right now and they pop out. It gives it a way to see, or maybe they're just something that holds the screen down. So they pop out and that gives it room for the screen to come up. Either way, it's all very, very cool, and I love the amount of detail on it. I mean, look at the buttons and everything. It just looks great. And the dangerous red button with a little cover on it. Look at that. I'll just push it, and nothing happens. Anyway, that's it for this area. It's pretty awesome. I cannot wait to have multiple hallways with these nice little tight doorways and windows that you can actually look in through. And be able to walk through a huge base. I mean, these doors are just so wonderful. I can almost imagine being on a space station and there's some alien loose or something, and just these doors closing behind me and in front of me, and chairs not vanishing like that one just did. It's incredible. I love it. So far, this is by far my favorite. It is an incredible, beautiful, brilliant hangar. My only comment would be maybe it needs more doorways to get into maybe whatever is going to be up here on the second floor behind the walls, because currently down below you get like the little vehicle access door down there that I started looking at. new section, but for actual access into whatever would be up here on the second floor, you only get that one access point over there, which seems like it could be a little lacking if you end up with a lot of stuff. I don't know. I suspect that's where your personal hangar stuff will be, whereas down below that'll just be your way out into the rest of the world. Overall, though, I am endlessly happy with this place. I love it to no end. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, if you want to get into this game, you can get into it for 45 bucks. That'll get you the Arena Commander module thing, which is basically their alpha thing, and they'll have some more stuff, but you'll definitely get into the beta once that's out. No idea when, and you'll have the full game once it's done and released. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.